Today we are making the Quay Lane Shawl. Hi everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. Now, a while ago I designed the Woodbury Castle shawl. That shawl was created from the wider shoulder part to the tip. But you all requested I did a shawl starting from the tip, going wider out. And I have used the same shell as I did in the Woodbury Castle shawl, and this is the Quay Lane Shawl. I hope you enjoy this design, and I have added tassels for an added design feature, and as you can see here, I am wearing it with a belt. I just thought it looked lovely like that. And for that shawl you will need 3 balls of Starcraft Special DK, and this is the color Storm Blue, and I used 3 balls for the shawl, and if you want the tassels as well, those will require another ball. I am of course using my scissors and darning needle, and for my choice of hook I am going to use a hook that is too big for the yarn. So the Starcraft Special DK is prescribed as a 4mm hook, but I am using a 5.5, and you might even need to use a 6. It just depends on how you can achieve your loose and lacy flowy fabric. So it's worth just trying out. Start with the 5.5, try with the 6 and see which one you like best. So I'm going to go for the 5.5. So let's get started. We're going to make a slip knot. Insert your hook and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. Then you go back to the first chain that you did, insert, and you are going to yarn over the working yarn and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. You now have a little circle, and we are going to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. So this is the side of your shawl. Now we are going to make the first shell. And the shell is made up of 1 treble, 1 chain, 5 times. So a treble is yarn over twice, insert into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, 1 and 2, into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1. So that's 2 lots. 1, 2, into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1. So that's 3. We do this a 4th time and a 5th time. And this is what I call a castle shell. Okay? And then, of course, you have to do a side. So to do our side, we are going to do another treble. So yarn over twice, into the circle, and we do another treble. So each time, these outer ones are going to be treated as our sides. This is the shell. So each row, we're going to create more and more shells, of course. But of course, we only have these 2 here for our sides. Now we are going to do a row of chain spaces, and we need to adhere those chain spaces with single crochets in certain locations. So disregarding the sides, we are just looking at the shell, and we are going to determine which locations we are going to be using there. Now these locations, if you have made the castle poncho or you have made the Woodbury Castle shawl, you will know what these locations are. So this location here, the chain space between these first two trebles of the shell, this here is a location. Then on top of the middle treble, that's a location. And then the chain space in between the last two trebles of the shell, that's a location. So there's two locations around the chain space, one location on top of the treble. Okay, so these three locations are the key to this shawl. Okay, so we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then you turn. Then you are going to do a single crochet in the first location, and that means you are skipping 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. In there you are going to do a single crochet. Then you are going to do 3 chains. You skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and on top of the treble here is the next location where we are going to do a single crochet. Once again, chain 3, skip 2, 1, 2 stitches, and then here you are going to do a single crochet around the chain space. Then you do 1, 2, 3 chains. You skip this stitch here, and then of course here you have your side. So into the side you are going to do a single crochet into the 3rd chain. So what would have been a corner there. So pick up 2 strands. If you pick up just 1 strand, it will stretch. Look at that. Look how it stretches. If you pick up 2 strands, and now of course it's harder for me to get in because I've stretched it. There we go. If you pick up 2 strands, it won't stretch. So 2 strands and a single crochet. There we go. Okay. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces and, so to speak, a single crochet here, and then here that first chain that was supposed to be our single crochet. Okay, but it was a turning chain because we turned there. So now, as you can see, we have made 4 chain spaces. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Round 4. Chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. We are going to turn. This chain 3 counts as our side. Now we are going to do our first shell. So we are going to do 1 treble, 1 chain 5 times into this chain space here. So yarn over twice into the chain space, and we are going to do 1 treble, 1 chain, and then repeat that 5 times. So 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and then we are going to secure that by going to the next single crochet here, so not the one that finishes this chain space. You're skipping this and you're going into this single crochet here, and you do a single crochet. Then you're skipping this chain space and you are going to go and make another shell in this chain space. So yarn over twice, 5 times, 1 treble, 1 chain. And you will notice that as you do your rows, each row will add 1 shell. So look, we now have 2 shells. And of course, we haven't finished our row because we need to do a side. So each row will start with a chain, which is your side. Then you do your shells, and then at the end of the row you will have to do your end treble. So we yarn over twice and we go, and this is that chain that we did to get started on row 3. So into that first chain, that's where we're going to go. Try and pick up 2 strands so it doesn't expand, and do your treble crochet in there. There we go. Okay, so this is a repeat of 2 rows. So each time you finish your row of shells, you're going to continue with a row of chains, then a row of shells, row of chains, and so on. Let me show you another row of chains. So, row 5, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You turn, you're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and then you go around the chain space to do your single crochet. 1, 2, 3 chains, 1, 2, skipped, and single crochet on top of the treble crochet. 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and in between the 2 trebles you're going to go round the chain space to do your single crochet. Then 1, 2, 3, then we're skipping 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that brings us to that first location again on the next shell. So this is where you will be doing your single crochet. 1, 2, 3, then once again find the top of that treble that you're going to go into. 1, 2, 3, and then of course here, don't get confused because this is not your shell, this is your side, remember? So we are putting the single crochet in between these 2 stitches there. Okay, and then of course you do 1, 2, and 3, and then you put your single crochet into your side in the 3rd chain of your side. There we go. Okay, now you might notice it's not looking as triangular as it could be, but keep at it. Okay, let's do another shell row. 1, 2, 3, turn, and I'm going to do my shell into the first chain space there. So 1 treble, 1 chain 5 times. And 1 chain is at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because this, of course, here is my side. Then you skip a chain space into the single crochet over there, and you do a single crochet. Once again, you skip this chain space and into the next chain space to do your next castle shell. And like you can see, it's a little bit awkward to start with. You know, you're using a hook that's too big for the yarn, you just need to make bigger movements because you are using trebles. So you'll have to just get used to doing the shells and doing the trebles in the beginning. So I've done my 5 trebles. Again, I'm skipping a chain space into this single crochet here and then here. Of course, I'm already doing my next castle shell. That's 3, 4, and my 5th one. There we go. And then of course I've got to do a side, so I'm doing another treble, but into the base, picking up 2 V's of that chain there. So from now on, it's a repeat of your shell row and your chain row, your shell, chain, shell, chain. But you will notice that your last row will always sort of protrude a little bit like this. Don't worry, just keep going, and each time you do the next row, the previous row will straighten up. At the end of the shawl, you must make sure that you end in a shell row and that your shawl is just past your fingertip to fingertip measurement. When you are at that stage, come back to this video because then I will show you how to finish this shawl. And here we are. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? It's such a lovely little design in there. Look, I love that. Okay, so now my shawl is really wide at the top. In fact, it's about 10 centimeters past my fingertip to fingertip measurement on each side, so 20 centimeters longer. And yes, so as you know, there was sort of this little bit of a concern when we were crocheting. Each time that last row seemed to edge out a little bit, but it always, look at that, it always sort of rectified itself. So maybe it's just because it wasn't sort of held together by those chain 3s at the top. Anyway, so we just now need to make sure that we do a top edge for our shawl, and I'm sure that once we've done that, then this little problem here will have sorted itself out. Okay, so I am just about to do the last stitch. I thought I would do it with you. Okay, so here we are. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done my little chain. Let's just do the treble in the chain here, and then of course it's hard to get in because I'm doing it with you. There we are. So now we're going to do 2 finishing rows. So I haven't numbered them because of course I don't know how many rows you have done for obtaining your fingertip to fingertip measurement. So first of all, let's chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn. And then you are going to use, of course, the same locations as we did before. 1, 2, 3, and in between here we are going to do a single crochet. Then you chain 2. Then you do your next location, a single crochet. Chain 2. Next location here, single crochet. Chain 2 into your next location. Chain 2 on top of the treble. Chain 2 in between those 2 first ones. Chain 2 in between those ones. There we go. See, look. I don't know whether you can see it. Maybe I should This is now sort of making it a little bit straighter, bringing this shell in a little bit. By the time we've done the whole length, it will be a lot straighter. So I will see you at the end of this chain row. So as you can see, this is the nice scalloped edge, and here, look, this is what I am doing now. So this is making it nice and straight across the top. And I am just finishing up my row here of chain twos, and do remember to do chain twos. I had to undo a couple of shells because I had a feeling it wasn't straightening up, and I was doing chain three. So, you know, after doing the whole shawl in chain three, make sure you remember it's chain two here, okay? And then of course here, the last one, you do a chain three because you sort of have to go a little bit further. But if you think that it's not going to go in enough, do a chain two, just, you know, see how you go. And I do a single crochet there, okay, just to end this row. Then you're going to chain one, turn, and you do a half double crochet straight away into that same location where you have done that chain into that single crochet that you did just earlier. And then you do 2 half double crochets around the chain space. You can't see, can you, when I have it like this? And 1 half double crochet into the single crochet. So 2 around the chain space and 1 on top of that. Now again, you sort of have to gauge that a little bit. If you think you're doing too many stitches to make it nice and flat across the top, then you might want to, but I think it's okay. You might want to do a few less, but I think it's okay like this. Okay, so 1 into that single crochet, 2 along that chain 2 that you just did. And once again, this is all the way to the end, and then we will have a nice edge on our shawl. I will see you at the end. So now I'm turning the shawl that I've sort of leveled off a little bit, and I am giving it a lovely edge. Okay, so I am just doing my last couple of half double crochets, the last one into that chain, which I just missed. There we go. There we are. Look at that. So I have finished my shawl. So now my top is nice and straight there. Look at that. So there we have it. I will see you in the next video to create the tassels. Thank you for watching.